All right, let's get right into it. Welcome to this explainer, where we are going to completely transform how you approach academic research using AI. Today, we're focusing on Grok and specifically looking at the setup that, honestly, most academics get completely wrong. We are going to build the ultimate robust academic workflow directly from the ground up. We're going to make sure your research is protected, accelerated, and synthesized perfectly. So if you're tired of generic AI outputs that just don't meet the rigorous standards of academia, you are definitely in the right place. So, here is our roadmap for this explainer. 1. Securing your academic secrets. 2. Connecting external tools. 3. Grok 4.3 beta versus expert mode. 4. Generating high-quality drafts. And finally, 5. An unexpected plagiarism warning.
Okay, part 1. Securing your academic secrets.
Look, before you type a single research query into the system, before you ask it to summarize a paper or even format a basic citation, there is an absolutely critical setting you have to change. When you first open Grok, head straight to your settings menu. From there, go to Data Control. You'll see a little toggle that says Allow data to be used for training models. Turn that off immediately. It's just a simple flip of a switch, but it fundamentally changes your relationship with the platform. Because, as the source material so perfectly puts it, in academia, we want to keep those little academic secrets to ourselves. You are working with unpublished data, novel hypotheses, and totally original literature syntheses. You literally cannot afford to have the system grab your hard-earned work and use it to train its global models. We do not want to send our unreleased data out into the wild, so make absolutely sure that is turned off before you do anything else.
Moving right along to part 2, connecting external academic tools.
With our data safely locked down, we can start adding some serious academic horsepower. This is where things get really exciting, with custom connectors, specifically MCP connectors. By default, Grok doesn't just hand you a neat little menu of academic integrations. You have to add them yourself. But it's actually incredibly easy. Just go to Google and type in the name of your favorite tool, let's say the academic search engine Consensus, and add MCP connector setup to your search. You'll find a guide that gives you a specific server URL. You just copy that, paste it into Grok's custom connector field, give it a name, and boom! Grok now has direct access to highly rigorous, specialized academic outputs. But here is a huge pro tip you need to remember. Even after you've set it all up, the system isn't a mind reader. If you just ask a general question, it might totally ignore that amazing academic tool you just plugged in. You have to be highly specific. In your prompt, you literally have to explicitly state something like, search the scientific literature using the consensus connector. When you do that, the model actually acknowledges it, fires up the tool, and hands you verifiable hyperlinked paper references straight from consensus. Now, alongside those connectors, you should really be building custom academic skills. You can use Grok's internal skill creator to automatically set up specialized agents, like a dedicated grant writer or a literature review generator. You just tell it what you want, it thinks for a second, and writes the underlying instructions. But real talk, when it generates those instructions, the edit box in the user interface is laughably small and frustrating. So do yourself a favor. Copy all those generated instructions, paste them into a basic notepad app, fine-tune them there where you can actually see what you're doing, and then paste them back in. Save it, and you've got a customized, robust academic assistant ready whenever you need it. All right, part 3, Grok 4.3 beta versus expert. We wanted to know which version of Grok actually works best, so we tested the exact same prompt about phone addiction across 3 different setups. The standard Grok 3 with no custom skills gave a perfectly decent baseline with loads of references. Then we tried expert mode, which uses web search, and that delivered rigorous, beautiful structural formatting. Finally, we ran Grok 4.3 beta with our custom literature review skill. That one produced the best writing and the most dense information. But notice something here. There wasn't one single definitive winner. They all excelled at completely different things. Quick detour before we solve that multi-draft problem. Grok has an Imagine feature for generating images, so naturally it got tested on scientific graphical abstracts. The result? Total failure. It just spat out endless, useless iterations that proved it really doesn't understand what a graphical abstract is supposed to look like in a scientific context. Long story short, if you need academic image generation, definitely stick to tools like Notebook LM or Gemini for now. Okay, so back to our text problem. We have 3 decent literature review drafts, but none of them are perfect on their own. Part 4, generating high-quality drafts. The solution to this is actually a surprisingly simple yet genius prompt. You take the outputs from Grok 3, Expert Mode, and the 4.3 beta, and you just feed all three of them into a totally different large language model, like Claude. The prompt is incredibly straightforward. I had Grok complete 3 literature reviews, combine the best bits of each document into one.
This is the power synthesis workflow, and it is an absolute game changer for academic writing. Seriously, don't stress yourself out trying to force one perfect output from a single model. Just generate multiple drafts using those different Grok models and skills we talked about. Feed all of them into a second LLM, Claude, ChatGPT, whatever you prefer. Ask that second model to interrogate the differences and figure out what's great about each one. Then tell it to mash together the best structural elements, the best prose, and all those aggregated references into one mega-base draft. What you get back is this deeply structured, highly referenced final output that gives you an insanely strong foundation for your revisions. Which brings us to part 5, the unexpected plagiarism warning. So check this out. It's a really fascinating edge case that shows how uniquely Grok handles scientific data. Often, researchers will upload figures into an AI to see if it can help brainstorm a compelling story around the data. Well, as a test, a series of graphs from a paper that was already published way back in 2015 were uploaded into Grok. The prompt asked it to craft a brand new research narrative. Now, older AI models would usually just blindly play along and invent a fake story based on the graphs, but Grok did something entirely different. Grok actually recognized the exact 2015 paper those figures came from. It completely halted the process and literally scolded the user, saying resubmitting these exact figures or highly relabeled versions of your original research would constitute plagiarism. It literally changed the name of the chat session to Plagiarism in Nanotechnology and gave a strict warning about academic cheating. I mean, getting told off by an AI is pretty hilarious, but you have to admit it is incredibly impressive that it cross-referenced an uploaded image with published literature to enforce academic integrity like that.
All right, we have covered a ton of ground today, from locking down your precious data settings to weaving in external tools like consensus to synthesizing the ultimate literature review draft. These tools are here, and when you configure them the right way, they are remarkably powerful. So the question I want to leave you with today isn't just whether you're ready to build your perfect academic AI workflow, it's whether you can afford to leave your academic secrets unprotected while you do it. Get in there, lock down your settings, and start synthesizing better drafts today. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and happy researching.